We are live now, and this is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with Dark Journey from Mid-South Wrestling, also known as Universal Wrestling Federation. She was also in Jim Crockett Promotions, and now she's on Hannibal TV. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I've had a great day. I got in yesterday. I didn't want to cram my days together, so I got in. I was able to relax a little bit, and I actually picked up another talent from the airport today, and we're sharing rooms. And I'm not saying who it is, and it might come out later. It's not important, but I'm doing good. Good roommate, good day.
Roommates? You don't even have your own room?
No, I do have my own room, but the person. Okay, here he goes.
I wouldn't put it past the captain to make you have a roommate. That's the only reason why I said that.
Well, no. I'm back to back tomorrow on the floor with tables back to back with Missy Hyatt. Okay, so she's gonna come in tomorrow, Friday, and it'll be an hour or two late. And I was like, that's ridiculous. Why don't you just go back before and then just room with me for the night? And that way you could chill and do whatever. I didn't have anything important to do it. Pick her up, be her Uber for the day. And, she came in. She started actually hooking up other events and stuff while she was here. So it was great. Hopefully she already paid for her extra day stay. Well, it was not, she didn't have to pay a hotel room, but so that's where I am. I don't know what to say. That's where I am. I got a roommate for the night. She got her own room tomorrow, people.
Are you living in LA still?
Yeah, I'm living in Los Angeles in the beach city areas.
I see. And where did you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I was born in Los Angeles General Hospital in 1957, y'all. So I'm 64 years old, going on 65. Look, I'm going to flush my hair because I can't believe I'm this old. That doesn't make me look any better, but I just realized how we try to, when we're saying things, our body, and our reactions do things. So, yeah, I was born in 1957 in the General Hospital in Los Angeles. And I still live there till today, but I've lived in a lot of different states.
Were you much of a wrestling fan before you got into the business? Because I understand you were kind of randomly brought in.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Absolutely random. The first wrestling match I'd ever seen or even heard about was with Dick Slater. So I'm in Atlanta, and if you look at my Wikipedia, it will tell you I was dancing in Atlanta. So when Dick Slater brought me in, I was like wrestling, and I wasn't sure what it was and what it was about. He kept trying to talk to me about it. He kept coming into the club. And finally, the guy that owned the club, and he owned a few clubs, not just in, where was it? That was in Atlanta, I think Florida and some other state. He called me to my home, and he said, hey, look, this guy's legit. He's been in the business a long time. He said, you really need to listen to him, be a big opportunity for you to go ahead and, like break into the business or show business or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. So Dick Slater was big enough at the time to meet me and my boyfriend at where I was staying and have an interview. And then he decided, we all felt comfortable, like he wasn't like some crack weirdo to take it on. But I think at that time, my boyfriend and I know that, if I went this way, that was the end of our relationship. So I went on with Mid-South, and after a while, I don't know what the time frame was. Dickie and I became I don't know what you call it, a partnership, a relationship. And I noticed in a lot of jobs and that people in their job, and I'm always like, can't you have a relationship outside your job? It's like, don't sleep in the same bed you're working in. But I was just kind of naive. And Dickie was a really nice person, and really a sweetheart, and he really took care of me in that, even though he had his own downfalls as I did. And it brought me into the business. So that's how I got into the business. When Dick Slater saw me at a strip club in two different places. He saw me in one in Atlanta and wanted to bring me in. And I didn't believe it. My boss talked me into it. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. So that's how I got brought into the business.
And you were, of course, one of the first valets that were actually famous. They had them before, but they were kind of not famous and didn't have fans or anything like that. What was it like being back there with the wrestlers when you would have been one of only a few girls backstage at that time?
You know what? I've never been asked that question. That's pretty wild because, you know, I made a list out of questions that people do not ask. Every time, I don't do a lot of interviews, but most of the interviews, they always like go to like the same questions over and over again. And I'm like, I have some great like road stories. So you're asking, and please forgive me if I ask you to ask this again. You're asking me to ask me again so I can be clear on what I'm going to reply.
I'm just wondering what it was like being a female backstage in those days when there wasn't really any female managers. They were few and far between, and it was a dressing room full of guys mostly.
Okay. Right. I got two things when you're saying that. Okay. I did not, I was very naive. Very naive. I don't care if I was dancing. I came out of Florida with a girlfriend that's like, oh, do this and do that. Very naive. There were no other female managers or wrestling. The first wrestling match I'd ever heard of or seen, I was actually in. And that's just how my life went. You know, other people, like, they get into it and they pursue it. But I'll call the universe decide, okay, we're going to take you this way because this is not what you really are or what I want to do. And we're going to like sway you this. And this is how we're going to pull you out. So Dick Slater again saw me somewhere and he pulled me out. Other managers, there was no female managers or wrestlers. If there were, I never even heard of, what is her name? Moolah at that point. So I broke into the business and people were calling me because we were Hills, Dick Slater and I, Hills, like discussing names. Oh, Dark Journey, Dark Horror, and you know, Jezebel. And I didn't even know what a Jezebel was. So, you know, it went on. I was very heartbroken. I was so stupid and naive. I'm like, why do people hate me? I didn't understand a heel is when they hate you. So I'm like going in there like heartbroken. That's how stupid I was. Nothing wrong with that. We all get our experiences through how we do. So I think that I was just brought in from Dick and Slater. Let me say that because later stuff's going to come up. And I don't recognize any other. I don't even know who was around. You know, so eventually Mid-South, they start like competing the managers of the wrestlers, which I'm looking at it now. People can say, oh, it wouldn't have made a difference. But when they start bringing in like Sunshine, Baby Doll, just these different entities, and then it kind of changed a little bit of the concept of wrestling. And I have to say, Ken Mantell made a big difference, and I think he took us to the top at that point. You know, and I hate to say this, but the business had to be exposed. You know, and unfortunately for them, and not unfortunately for Mid-South and other, you know, like indie companies, we had to realize that this is the truth. And today we're here. We still are here and we still exist. So where do you want to go from there?
How did you like Bill Watts when you were working down there in Mid-South?
I really did not know Bill Watts. I had really little or no interaction with him. I don't know him per se. I don't, we did television there in Oklahoma. He may have been, I don't even realize when we were at, let's see, we used to do Dallas TV. We did Louisiana TV. We did a lot of different shots that we had to fly into or be there for. But I realized that he may have been there. But, I'm in my little small world perception, and I'm with Dick Slater. And I keep saying that. This is horrible because there's a joke for this, okay? And hopefully I'll clear it up before this. I just realized that, I didn't realize what was going on. So, I would just do the shows in the shot, and I wasn't interacting with him. I don't have any pros or cons. I do remember one incident. And are you still there to understand what I'm about to say?
Oh, yes. Yes,
okay.
I'm here.
So check this out. When I was with Dick Slater, there was a time where we did some television interview. We were doing like a little 30-second promos. And Bill Watts came up to Dick and said, hey, because they started noticing they were getting booyays, more just what they were getting from Dick on his own, and booyays, and whether boos or yays at the same time or booyays at the same time. And it's about business and money. It's not about personal shit. And Dick Slater was managing the talent at the time, bringing in people and whatever, and trying to write some scripts and shots or whatever. So I to my, knowing, Bill walked in on this one thing and he said, hey, he says, Dick, he says, can she start to talk? I want her to start to talk and to start to, interview her, start bringing her into the conversation more. And Dick said, yeah. And it was almost so blatant. I can't even believe it was real. He started talking and he started waving his arms and he's doing this promo, and he's like, move me out of the whole shot. So I'm no longer in the shot at all. And Dick is just doing his thing. And I'm like, I didn't say anything. I'm a young girl. I just get booted out. So later, after everything goes, Bill Watts says, you know what? I thought this would happen. They gave him the opportunity to say, bring her in like Sonny and Cher. We're going to boost up Cher. It doesn't matter. It's the same gimmick, the same money coming in. Let's blast this up. And I'm not saying that would have been me. What I'm saying is, as business, Bill asked Dick to do that, and his ego was so large, he just blew me out of the whole scenario. So at that point, I don't know what happened in between there. I think Bill Watts, he got rid of Dick Slater. And he got rid of him in the forum. If anybody ever notices, and what's really interesting, I don't think anybody ever notices, other than the people then I was aware. They got rid of Dick Slater in probably 2 promos in one day, and Bill Watts probably made it sound like to Dick, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to bring you back. You're going to be this, top card. And Dick Slater said, okay, yeah. So Dick Slater lost 2 belts in the same day. Same day. You could go and look, history, go back. He lost 2 belts because he wasn't willing to bring me in as a talent. And like I'm saying, I didn't even know what all this was. Excuse me, I'm not trying to be too ignorant. This shit was about. He was, it's money. It's like a fucking business. And you bring them in and we make this go. And Dick Slater wasn't willing to pop with it. He's going to kick me out of the, this is my thing and we're going to control it. So that was our loss. Other than that, Bill Watts was very kind. I can remember, I'm going to segue right into something else. About that time, or right before that, I've never been private with Bill, alone or anything like that. I don't care what you read or hear about. I think Bill Watts was very perturbed, and he called me aside, or he had me, and it was like I could be alone, not like in a room. I'm just talking like, I don't know what it was. It was like very simple. And he had the opportunity to say, do you know that Dick Slater, I think he was hurt by it. And back in that day, people didn't do anything about it like they do today. He said, do you know Dick Slater refers to you as the N-word? And I listened from, I think at that time, I'm like 64, like a small child, and understanding other people's hurts and insecurities and different things. And I said, that wouldn't surprise me because he wants to feel big and secure, and he wants to feel like he can control me. So it makes him feel big and me small. But I think the reason, why would somebody like Bill Watts come and say, do you know he refers to you like that? No, he did. Anytime I wasn't around, that's what Dick Slater did. He referred to me to the N-word in a conversation. That is very hurtful. It's very hurtful. I knew it at that time. So other than Bill Watts talking to me about that, I think Bill Watts, like I'm saying, was hurt by it. He wanted to move me up in the business. It's about money making. You know, go like get your own money and open your business, make your decisions. And if they cut you, hey, it ain't your business. So Bill Watts I never had a problem with Dick Slater. I really never had a problem. And then they cut him off, and that was it. And then I went on about my business.
What was the whole thing with Sting and Dick Slater over? Because the rumor was that Sting gave you a ride home or something. It was all because of that.
Oh, so okay. Can you please back up with me for a minute? You're saying the rumor for Sting was the rumor. So
the rumor going around was Dick didn't want to give you a ride home from an arena some night or something, so Sting gave you a ride home, and that's what led to Sting getting beat up.
Okay. All right. This is my version of it. And what's interesting, and I'm going to say it tonight, I'm like sharing a room with Missy Hyatt 35 years later. And please help me back up, segue into it. I was here in 2019 at the gathering, and she was so sweet and giving that when I sat next to her within a few minutes, she leaned over to me and she said, I want you to know, and I don't care who the fuck is listening right now, what you fucking think I'm about to say. It's what I got, and it's not for you. She said, I want you to know that everything I did was a shoot. And then she sent me a text that was so profound that it just, and I want to bawl and cry right now. It freed my heart from so much. Because back in the business, it was very, very hurtful. It was a man's world. It wasn't a woman's world. And Missy Hyatt, she was the first to just set my heart free of all the fucking nasty shit that was out there. All the nasty shit that was said. And I'm sorry. And it was so profound. And I didn't have to ask her. That was the most important thing to me. And then in 2019, and I'm backing up, so you're going to have to back me back up.
Now, are you going to tell us who this woman is? Sorry, I may have missed that.
Okay. Missy Hyatt.
Okay.
Right. Missy Hyatt. Okay. She freed me from a lot of verbal, I would say abuse, but I really, like, once I dropped out of wrestling, I was just kind of done with it. And I went on with other life and stuff. So with Missy Hyatt, she just came in like like a rolling ball and just straight out announced to me, yeah, hey, look, anything I ever said in the past, she just cleared it up for me right on. So this is what this is about. You understand what I'm saying? But I wanted to segue into that. And she apologized for anything she ever said or ever did, in the past. So that just kind of broke my heart and made me realize that I needed to pass that forward. So let's back up to the other thing. we're talking about, and just back up to the original question, please.
That what exactly did you have to do with the whole thing with Sting getting beat up by Dick Slater?
So where I was going with that is because just recently I heard an interview with her talking about Sting, and I just saw an interview with Shane Douglas with Sting. Now everybody's heard. Oh, like there's so many different scenarios out there, and they're all different. I just like crack up. Okay, so Sting did not give me a ride to the arena. Okay, as far as I know, he didn't have a car. Okay, I don't know where I need to clean up or where I need to be at this point. So just let me clear it up, like from the beginning and what everybody's trying to look for. Okay, no, there's no relationship there. Did Dick confront Sting? Absolutely. Okay. Because that same night it happened, what is his name? Mad Dog, Buzz Sawyer. He was a neighbor of mine. He comes and knocks on my door. I didn't even know what had happened, and banging on, I open my door. He's like a bulldog. He just barges through. And he's just barging through. It's almost like he's in the rings, spitting blood in the air. He's like, "Oh, pretty boy got his face beat up tonight." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he starts telling me the story. Buzz Sawyer was there. Okay, Shane Douglas. These are only the people I've heard tell the story. Was not there. He said he was there, but he was in the bathroom. He said I didn't see it. Missy Hyatt was never there. Who's the other one? I'm trying to think. The people that tell it, it's like superimposed. I'm glad to be an urban legend. My question is, why do you not ask Sting? What was his name? Steve Borden. Why do you not ask him that? Everybody asks me that. It's an urban legend. Okay, here you go. No. Okay. Friends with him. He did not have a car. Everybody's carpooling at that time. I carpooled with a lot of guys like Dick Murdoch, Humperdinck and I. Nobody asks about that stuff, but So back into the arena. Yes, Dick Slater confronted Sting because Dick Slater didn't know where I was, what's going on, or what I'm doing. He didn't realize he's about to lose 2 titles in the same day. And that's the absolute truth. Excuse me, but he's being fucked in the same day. So what happens after that is Sting shows up. Somebody bugs Dick's ear that, hey, Dark Journey's up. I remember that was my car in El Camino. So you guys can make whatever. Yeah, he was in my car. El Camino, 2-seater. I dropped him off. Sting did not own a vehicle, and neither did James or Jim, whatever you want to call him, at that time. They were all carpooling together. So they came into the area because I think they were living in Alexandria at the time. They come into the area, and we had started becoming friends. And when we're carpooling in that together, and we're talking, he's from California, I'm from California. He owns a partnership and Gold's Gym, and we're having fun. Not that he wasn't infatuated. And I remember James or Jim kept getting pissed because these guys are trying to break into the business. And Mr. Sting is trying to talk to me and get to know me. No problem there. We're young. So about the time that Dick's getting finished up, I'm done. Sting comes in the area, 2 young people, and nothing's going on at this time, believe me. I don't know, and I'm going to be honest, how Sting got from Alexandria to Baton Rouge. I lived in Baton Rouge. Got dropped off. I pick him up. We're hanging out. Whatever. Yeah. But whatever you guys want to make of it. Have a day at it, right? Whatever. So I take Sting and drop him off. I don't know who the fuck would have seen that. It's like way around the other side of the dark side of the arena. He gets out of the car, he goes in. later I get a call that fucking Dick Slater. And now I got a question for all of you out there. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to cut to the chase. Okay. What was that? 19. What? Hey, Hannibal, what was that? What year was that? The Sting incident. Can you tell me?
I'm going to look it up. Give me a.
Okay. While you do that, I'm gonna tell you something. And I asked somebody that today. I'm gonna swear right here. Who the fuck do you think would have won? Because people are like, "Oh, Dickie would have beat his ass." I'm like, no. You know what? Steve Borton at that time said, "You know what? I let him do what he wanted to do. He pushed me into the stall." And I'm gonna tell you something. If Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer busted in my room and he never tells me that Sting got his face flushed in the toilet, then Sting didn't get his face in the toilet. So then on the other side, there is Sting that's telling me, no, my face didn't get flushed into a toilet. And if it had gone that far, believe me, I would have fucking put his ass down. Now, I'm like, Sting is young and agile. Dick Slater, and I don't know if anybody noticed it because that was my boyfriend at the time, not right then, but I lived with. He's got equilibrium, in balance, and he walks like he's like trying to keep his balance all the time. He might have been a badass, but part of it is a legend. But I think Steve was like at the point, no, he couldn't have taken me down. He would have, you know what? I would have beat the fuck out of him. And not who Sting is today. He's like, I would have beat the fuck out of him. And no, nobody told me about the flushing of the toilet. Sting said he pushed him back into the toilet doors. Back into the toilet doors. Okay?
That was one of the fan questions. It was 1986, by the way, and one of the fans was wondering if there was anything in the toilet.
Oh, my God. Okay. Okay. First of all, between Buzz Sawyer, Steve Borton, and myself, and those are only three I can be accountable for. Do you understand? I don't have any other three. I'm not going to start making people up. Nobody got their face flushed in the toilet. In Borton's words, and you can ask him, don't be scared. He always like, oh, you know, I'm saved and, you know, I'm with my wife. And, you know, he's respectful, as I am. He pushed me into the back of the toilet stalls. The guys that were out there, you know, back in that day, I'm going to have to tell you this. Back in that day, somebody just said that earlier in an interview. When boys get into disgruntleship and things like fire off in the dressing room, they let them fight. They will not break it up. And that's old school. They will not break it up. They want you to get that shit out there right then to take it on the road. So Steve and James are brand new to the stuff. They're trying to break in. They're trying to be successful boys. And then, you know, Dick is like so insecure. He doesn't even know what the frigging's going on. And he wants to beat somebody up. And, oh, somebody got on somebody's car. A little bit ridiculous at that point. So why would you think, okay, urban legend, okay, no toilet flushing from any of the three people I know. You can ask Shane Douglas. He even says, I wasn't there. I was in the bathroom. But and Missy Hyatt just told one, it's an old one, about him having Band-Aids on it. It gets blown out of proportion, and that's fine. Urban legend. I love it. And you know what? I never thought I'd be part of something like this. But I'm just telling you, there's no flushing of the head in the toilet. And hey, I think, I want to ask the crowd this. Who would have won? Okay, everybody, oh, Dick Slater. No, that's that time and era. He's a clumsy person. I don't know. Like, Sting was sure he would have beat the fuck out of him. Okay, so where are you guys going with this? Go on.
So you think Dick was past his prime by that point? As far as a fighter, because he was known as one of the toughest wrestlers.
You know, I did not know Dick Slater before. as being a tough wrestler. Like I said, when, I'm like off somewhere like in Panama City, Florida, like working airbrush, airbrushing t-shirts on the strip and that. And then my girlfriend that came down, her boyfriend owns a place, and I go up there and I'm supposed to be like working in a restaurant. Like, oh, you look like a stripper. And I took it on for 11 months. And then Dick picked me up. So I'm like, like I could only do it for 11 months because it wasn't me. I had to drink every night to just deal with guys. So, and Dick was a good person. He was nice and sweet, but I think he had a lot of, I'm not sure what he died from, and I felt really bad. I felt really bad, like, and almost that he didn't remember me, because I think in a way I thought he really loved me. He protected me like he was a big teddy bear. There's a lot of other stuff he protected me from, but I don't know. Where am I going with this?
There's a fan on here that wants to know what you think about the valets today. Do you watch wrestling today, or are you like most people that stop watching?
I'm most people that stops watching. I don't watch it. Just like I'm saying, I think back in 2012 when somebody called me and tried to get me involved, I was just kind of confused. And I tried to do a few promos and I was scared and having a problem with it. And, unfortunately, it was the LAX West End, and it wasn't a very good venue, but I was there. It was like I'm breaking in. But I had not taken on as we spoke earlier, the history of I can't change it. I can't change where I was and what I did. And I'm gonna give a good scenario what I think. Like Sunshine. Excuse me, where the fuck is Sunshine? What a fucking great heel. She like fucking beat the shit out of me. Like, oh, fuck Missy Hyatt. She would have like tore me up for the rest of like a few years, right? Sunshine, good worker, right on the money. She is very serious. I just can't even believe she just wiped herself off the mat. I have a lot of respect for her, So like that. What is it? Maxine. The giant, I actually hit her up on some little private message one time, and I passed on what Missy told me about, I'm sorry, everything I ever said about you. It was all a shoot and a work, and when I'm working, I'm being in character, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. So, I told Maxine, I'm really sorry that if I've ever hurt you or said anything wrong, because Maxine, the giant, we came in Mid-South for a small part, and they had me do some stuff to her. It wasn't totally comfortable with her, like kicking her between the legs, and she would go down. She's a big, beautiful giant. She's working with Jack Victory. Why would I beat her ass? Okay, come on. But that's what was going down at that time. But other than that, I'm going to tell you a really, really quick secret. I've never said this before. I said it just recently to somebody, but we never picked up on it. We had this match where Maxine was coming at me, Mad Maxine, and I was supposed to kick her in the legs, between the legs, and the giant goes down. She buckles her knees and goes down. I do whatever. She goes off with Jack Victory, and I go back to my dressing room. And Grizzly, comes over and he says to me in my dressing room, there, the heels on the other side, that she said that, God, I hate saying this, I tore her labia. And I'm like, what? Like, in other words, when you kick somebody, you don't just kick them like the bottom of your foot, you kick them in the soft spot. But I tore it. I never to this day heard another thing. So that bothered me till just 2019. I apologized to Maxine. Anything I ever said or did, she never brought it up. So to this day, I have no idea if that was the truth or not. So Maxine was fine. Love, sunshine. Precious for a split second. And what is that? And Crockett. Split second with Garvin. Split second. But the other valets, I can't think of anybody right off unless you can.
Did you have much interaction with Jake Roberts?
Okay. Oh, okay. Say it again. You're chopping up, sweetie.
Did you have much interaction with Jake the Snake Roberts?
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Is there somebody here? All right. Nobody's in the room. We're recording. Okay.
They're hiding behind the curtain.
As long as you can hear me, we'll keep recording.
Okay.
Come here. Quick. Oh, no. No. This is the problem. Listen to him. Boy. No, listen to him. No. Fix the legs first. Hold on. Fix the legs first. He's trying to. I'm just going to do that for a while. Fix the legs. Fix the legs. There, I can't sit